Hi, I thought I'd go over what you need to do for your self-introduction speech. Rather than just reading the guideline, I thought I would talk about it as well. As you can see, this is your first assignment. It's a 3-minute self-introduction, and you will record this in media share. Not Panopto, but media share. The only speech that you record in Panopto is your informative speech, because you need to use visual aids, and we need Panopto that allows you to use visual aids such as PowerPoint to record that speech. So, what do you want to do in the self-introduction? Well, first of all, as you can see here, I mentioned that you do need to record this in media share. You only have one take. I know if you have paused it or you have restarted it, so it's very important that you prepare properly as if you are speaking to an audience, to a class. So you want to put together your 3-minute speech. You want to practice it so that you're within that 3-minute timeline. And then when you're ready to deliver, you make sure you're all set with your information on your note cards. You reference your note cards, and then you speak as if you're speaking to an audience. Not necessarily right into the camera, but as if you were delivering it to an audience, looking at your notes and speaking about yourself. Other things that I mentioned in this guideline is the fact that we have many sample self-introduction speeches. Actually, in the My Labs Com Plus, we have sample speeches of all the speeches that you'll deliver, your informative, your persuasive, and your self-introduction. So I highly recommend that you view these sample speeches. This will give you a good idea of what a good self-introduction looks like. Looking at the rubric, how you will be graded, this is worth 50 points. And with any speech, the basis, the structure of a speech is an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. An introduction, a body, and conclusion. In the introduction, you have many elements. You have your attention getter, you have your credibility, you have your relevance to your audience, and then you have your preview of statements, of points. Now, we're not that far yet. That's for your informative speech, and that's for your persuasive speech. In the introduction of a speech, all I'm asking for you to do today for this self-introduction is an attention getter. Okay? How will you get our attention? And then you'll go into the body of your self-introduction, which will be about you. And a really good way to deliver a body of a self-introduction is chronologically. Start from the beginning to the middle to the future. Tell us about yourself. And then you'll conclude. You need to give us some kind of verbal signal that you're concluding for your speech. In conclusion, as you can see, to sum this up and highlight a few of your key points of your body, and then conclude your speech. So let me say that again, okay? In a presentation, any presentation, we have 3 elements. We have our introduction, our body, and conclusion, just like when you write a paper. And as we move along, as you get into your lengthier speeches, you're going to find that your introduction has many elements, such as your attention getter, your credibility, your relevance to your audience, and your preview of points. And then in your body, you have your key points and your transitions in between your key points. And then in your conclusion, you sum up those key points again in your summary, and then what your textbook calls a wow statement, a way to link your information back to your audience. But for this assignment, I'm looking for, as you can see here, an attention getter from the very beginning, the body of who you are, and then your conclusion. So looking at this guideline, I've given you suggestions on how you can offer this attention getter, a rhetorical question, a question to your audience without an answer, a story about yourself, who you are, maybe something that happened to you as a child, maybe some remarkable, unique characteristic that you can share. That would be a great attention getter. Or you can do a traditional or offer a traditional introduction of your introduction. Today, I like to introduce myself. I'm told that I am, and maybe 3 or 4 complimentary adjectives about who you are, and then offer your name, and then go into the body of your speech. So it's your choice. These are just suggestions. There's many ways you could offer an attention getter, and you'll see that in your textbook. But you want to start off with some way to put a spin on your information. And then you go into the body of your speech, which is, the meat of your talk. And some information that you definitely want to cover is, where you live, your family and friends. And you don't have to give us your address or anything like that, but, do you live in Harrisburg, or do you live in Lebanon? Do you live in Gettysburg? Your major, some of your goals, some of your interests, how you would want to offer that information to the folks that you feel is important, that we need to know. And then you'll conclude, and you'll verbally offer this transitional phrase. As you can see, I am, and you may go pull out a couple key points from your body of your speech, summarizing that information again, and then maybe end with, I look forward to being part of this class, or some way to cap off your self-introduction. Okay, so I've given you all this information. These are just suggestions. The key here, what I'm going to be grading you on, as you can see here, is that you followed the above criteria. Some type of attention getter, the body of your speech, it makes sense, it transgresses in the proper manner, and then your conclusion. And then your delivery, that you have practiced the speech. Do not read. And I repeat, do not read your speech. If you read, you will automatically get a 0 for delivery. We want you to deliver extemporaneously, looking at key points and speaking about those key points. Offer good eye contact, as if you're speaking to a group of people, looking at your key points and delivering your speech. And we're looking at 3 minutes in time. The total possible points for this assignment is 50 points. Okay, so we're going to use this guideline as your rubric. I will use this as the way to grade your speech. You see exactly what I'm looking for. You can easily get a 50 out of 50 if you follow the above criteria. You've practiced, you're using no cards, you're offering good delivery, and you're within that 3-minute point. Okay? Get cracking, and I look forward to learning a little bit more about you.